Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio, and it's time for another Margarete Miller weekly challenge. And today we are on week 9. If you look on Instagram, you can find everybody's collages that they did for this week following the hashtag 2022 Planner 9. And for those of you not familiar, Margarete Miller has a weekly challenge where she gives you a list of 5 prompts and a bonus prompt. And you can get those several ways. You can get them like I did here, which is the prompts only. Or you can get her planner, which is a ring-bound weekly planner, or you can download the planner and print it yourself. And like I said, she gives you 5 prompts to do each week with a bonus prompt. And the bonus prompt is for if there is something in the other 5 that you don't want to do or you can't find, you can substitute the bonus. But I normally do all 6. So I work in a sketch diary, and I just prefer that. I don't have a use for a planner really, so it's easier for me to just do the collages with the prompts. And I will link her Etsy page in the description box below, but you can find her at Mellow Miller on Etsy. And I'll quickly flip through the previous weeks. And there is a video for each one of these except for this one. I had a technical difficulty on this one, and so the video that I made for it was lost. So it's not there, but the rest of them are there. And you can see sometimes I turn the page this way, and then sometimes I work on it, you know, the other way. It really just depends on the images that I find and what's going on. And this was our cookie number 9, or number 8. So we are on number 9, and I think this time I am going this way as well. And so I'm going to go through the prompts, and then we'll get started and see what we can do. This one came together fairly easily, although my way of getting to where I'm going is not always in a straight line, or I should say is never in a straight line. But I think I ended up with something that will work. So the first thing that I was doing was going through the fairy tales, which is the first prompt, and I came across the ugly duckling. Well, the ugly duckling, of course, ends up being a beautiful swan. And so that is going to be my fairy tale, is the ugly duckling. The next thing that we have is something that represents an event. Well, when I think of swan, the automatic thing that comes to my mind is Swan Lake, which is a ballet. And so I have a ballerina to represent an event. And the next thing was an architectural element. Well, my thinking there was, okay, I have a swan, I have a ballerina. Well, that brought me to, and this is maybe a little far off, a castle. And the reason that it brought me to a castle is because this particular castle is a castle in Germany. And I have another picture I was going to show you. And it is, and for any of you that speak German, I'm totally going to destroy this. But this is the name of it. And I believe that it is pronounced Neuschwanstein, which is Mad Ludwig's swan song. is what this particular author called it. And this is actually the castle that they kind of mimicked the Disney castle after. And the reason that it's called, this particular author of this book called it Swan Song, is because inside the castle, and this is another book page, I probably won't use this one, but I wanted you to see, he loved swans, and there are swans all throughout this castle. I don't know if you can see by this, but even his door handles had a swan's head on them, and he had several paintings on the wall that had swans, as far as several figurines in the castle that were swans. So that's kind of where we're going. I know that's a long stretch from getting from the Ugly Duckling to a castle, but that's where my mind went. The next prompt is dictionary page, and so I pulled up a couple of dictionary pages. This dictionary page actually has the word swan on it. And this one is a shorthand dictionary page, and it actually has duckling, I believe. Yes, duckling. So I'm going to try to install those in such a way that you can still see the duckling and still see the word swan. So we'll see how that goes. And then a key, and for a key, I have a stamp that is a key, and I think I'm going to use that so that it stays flat. I do have, of course, some real keys, and depending on how I feel when we get there, you know, I may use one of those, but right now my idea is to use the stamp. And then the bonus is a postal stamp. And so I have some vintage postal stamps somewhere in my stack. I have another ballerina too, but this is actually from the movie Swan Lake. So I'll probably will use this one, but I also like this one because it has colors, so we'll see. But I'm thinking the black and white will tie together nicely. I also have some German book page that I'm going to use in the background, as well as some music page that also is in German. And then I have some postage stamps here that are kind of in the same color category. And I have some bits of scrapbook paper that I may use in my background. And also I have this is scrapbook paper, and it is postage stamps as well. And Amy with Crafty Cat, I agree with you because she says postal stamp. I'm not sure if she means a postage stamp, like we would say here in the U.S., or she actually means the cancellation stamp. And so, the scrapbook paper that I have has cancellation stamps on it. And a couple of these stamps actually have one too. So I'm hoping I have both bases covered. But yes, I totally agree with what you said in yours yesterday. Being from different places, we use different terms, and it could be either, actually. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is get our background going here. So I'm going to just try and figure out what I want to do as far as getting my background started. I think I want to use some strips of this just because I want to tie that black and white in a little bit more, so I'm just going to cut some random strips and then see how that goes. And then I promise I'll settle down in a minute. I just got home from work and ran up right up here to get started, so I still feel like I'm not settled. I'm going to start with just a few strips of each one of those. And then my music, you can't have a ballet without music, right? That would just be wrong. So how is everybody? I hope everybody's having a good week. I, for one, am glad it's almost Friday, because then is the weekend, and then I get to work on journals instead of working on a computer all day. That makes me happy. And that's why I don't do digitals, is because if I had to set one more minute at a computer than what I do during the week, I think I would scream. God bless all of you that do the digitals, though. I love them, but I just can't. I can't handle anymore. By the time I'm done for the day, I'm done. Computer's the last thing I want to do. And so we're ducklings right there, so we'll come down a couple from that. And I'm just preparing some stuff, getting some stuff ready here. Alright, and on this one, let's take off maybe about that much, and that way our swan is about right here, if you guys can see that. All right, and then I know I'm gonna have to take this down as well. Oh, and I have this is some more German. It's just a different kind. It's very small print. It was a very small book. And again, I apologize if I totally destroyed the name of this castle. When we went to Germany, I tried not to talk at all because I could say good morning and thank you and stuff like that, but the only thing worse than American that doesn't know how to speak German and is a Southern American trying to speak German. It's really bad. So Louisa, if you're watching, Louisa Heinzel, don't ever apologize for your English. Your English is excellent. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I feel like this kind of needs to be our center spot. I want to break the black and white up just a little bit. So, and the views from this castle are absolutely gorgeous. to say the least. I may want this. Do I want this here? No, I feel like it needs to be, I feel like that needs to be up higher than the swan. Just for balancing purposes. Okay, so what else do we have to get in here? We have to get our dictionary page and our postal stamps, and then everything else is kind of play. I'm not worried about the postal stamps, but let's figure out what we're gonna do with our okay, if I do this like this, swan is right there. And then that's my extra piece. Where's my duckling? Okay, duckling. Could maybe go there. May not need all this book page I've got back there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put down these pieces since I know where they have to go, the back pieces, and then we'll fill in with some of the color and the other things. All right, so let me reach up here and get my glue book. And we'll just get some of this down. I had a comment that my camera was too far away, so I've tried to move it down, which of course if you move it down that's fine, but your workspace becomes very small. So if you guys cannot see well or you need me to adjust it, please leave a comment and I'll do that. We'll get it right. Or we'll try to anyway. I'm not going to ink any of these bottom layers because I don't really want those to stand out. But we probably will ink, you know, the focal points and the more top layers. Do I want this German text or do I want the other? I really like the older German text, so we might use this one instead. Yeah, I think we'll do that. This is very fragile, so I'm hoping I can get it down without tearing it up too bad. Tear that little piece off, it's bothering me. Because you understood that through my frog talk, didn't you? Goodness. Alright, so again, let me lay this here so I can judge. So my duckling's gonna go about right there, I think. Right there, that word. Beautiful, beautiful weather here today. It's about 70 degrees, but I think it's just trying to get us used to something that's not gonna hang around. That's what I'm thinking it's doing. I lost my spot. Okay, there's that. Alright, I got glue on that. And of course I don't have any kind of get my little glue remover here. There we go. I got this at an art supply store quite a while ago, but it was like a at Jerry's Artarama, and they do have online, but it removes all kinds of goop if you get glue where it doesn't go. It works really well. Alright, so let's put down some of this music now. And all I'm doing now is just kind of building my background. So we're not doing anything really that's in the prompts now. I'm just trying to get my page set up. Oops. I tend to work in threes. For most of you that have been following me for a while know that. Odd numbers always, but usually threes. So most anything that I'm gonna put on here is gonna be in some kind of threes. One, 3, or 5. I very rarely use 5. It's usually 1 or 3. Okay, now let's bring in some of this purple color, which is not a color that I normally use, but I thought it went well with the swan. I know, Denise, it's your favorite color. But I don't use it a whole lot. I don't hate it, but I just don't use it a lot. I don't think we need it there because we've got this one there. Yellow is actually probably my least favorite color. Like a yellow. I like a mustard yellow color, you know, a duller yellow, but I don't like a sunshine yellow. I don't care for that too much. Nope, I don't need it there. I keep telling myself I don't need it there, and I keep trying to put it back there, don't I? Okay, now I'm going to use some of this black and white scrapbook paper. No, castles go in there, don't need it. And there is no rhyme or reason for what I do, really. I try not to think about it too much because if I do, I would be here all day doing the same collage. Alright, let's lay our, our focal points on here now and see what we have. So, we have our swan right under duckling and right to the side of swan. We'll take that. And then we have our ballerina. It's going to go somewhere in that vicinity. And then we have our castle. Where's our castle that we still need to tear down? I think we're going to put about right there. So if that's the case, I think I may take some of this. All right, let me tear this down so I can tell better. I'm just going to tear it right here at the top of the peak. And move it over just a little bit. Make sure my swan's still showing. It is. Where's my other? I'm gonna move it down a little bit so I can see my other piece of purple. So I need something in that little gap right there. And in this little gap down here, I feel like. Oh, let's try some of this. You're not really going to be able to see. No, I don't like that color. Let's try something else. Let's try the other side. Oh, and I have to put my key stamp somewhere too. Oop, I definitely want that. Wondering, do I need to cut down some of that water? Let's cut that off the back. Oh, I want to leave it on the bottom because I don't want it to look like it's floating in the air, but I think we can trim this off the back and get rid of some of that so it doesn't look so weird. Oh yeah, I like that much better. I think I may tear the castle down a little bit more as well. Let's get the glue book out of the way. And then if I do that, I can maybe put my stamps there. And some down here. Maybe not that many. And I do have my real ones too, so I can put those in. Oops, I can't come down too far. I don't want to cover my swan word up. See what I said about thinking about it? Okay, I like that one there. I like this one here. No, not that far over. I covered my duckling. There we go. Major crisis averted. And then I think I'm going to put this one over here, which may not even show, but actually I need to put it right here because I have a hole. Alright, so now let's do some inking. I've already inked her. Ink our castle here. Oh, and I didn't get my, I'm gonna have to get my grungy stamp here in a minute. I didn't bring it over here. Let's ink our swan. I keep thinking that's something on the picture, and it's not, it's his foot. Or his leg. His foot's under the water. Alright, so let's get down our castle. And we want it to be right. I'm going to have to tear it down more, otherwise it's going to cover up swan. Darn it, darn it. Alright, let's see if I can do this now that I've put the glue on the back. We'll have to remember to clean my ruler after we're finished, now that I've done that. Okay. Why did that end up being on the other side? But that's okay. That'll work too. Alright, so let's get this down because I don't think anything else is going underneath that. This is just out of a bird book that I had called, it's North American Birds or something like that. Alright, now, before I go any further, I need to decide where my key's going. And I'm thinking I want to stamp it right there because we have that big white space. So, and I think I'm going to do it in black, or black soot. Should work. I was checking, this is oxide that I'm putting on here, and so I was checking to make sure that that surface was not slick, because as you guys know, oxide will react with water, and it doesn't do well on slick surfaces. Alright, this is going to make or break whether we leave it or we have to cover it up. There we go. I think that'll work. And now we can put our little lady on here. Oh, she's gonna cover. I may have to put another key as well because, oh, I can move her over here. Let's do that. Of course, then we're going to have a spot here that we need to put something, but I don't want her to cover up. You can see I've shifted the whole thing accidentally this way from where I started. But what I can do is I can use that stamp again and make it more prominent and move her over here. Yep. All right, now I am not even going to attempt to use a glue stick on the back of her because her arms are so small and her fingers are even smaller. So I am going to use the art glitter glue so that I don't tear anything off. between there. Get her on here so I can relax about not tearing her up. And then we'll add a couple more key stamps just so we've got that covered. I think I can put one over here on this side, and I'm going to turn it the other way. Turn it this way. There we go. And then I need to put one more. There. I think here, and it probably won't stamp the whole thing, but that's okay. Yep, that'll work. All right, now let's figure out where to put these, just so we can make sure we have everything covered. See which colors we like best. Definitely need something there, I think. Let me move some of this clutter so you guys can get a clear picture. Okay, so one, I believe I want the blue one there. Then I have two. Two different. I thought I had, oh, I do. No, that's part of the paper. I thought I had one that was kind of a, here it is. If I'd get some of my junk out of the way, I could find it, couldn't I? I want something there, but I don't want it to be a stamp. I do need something there, though. I feel like maybe we should use this one. It's got a building on it, and that would be, and it has a partial postmark. That would be architecture as well, wouldn't it? get the very edge of that. Now I've got my number. I need something right there too. I feel like it. Let me get my number on here. Need. I keep saying I need. Oh, I've got some washi. I forgot about that. It's got some swans. Need my other stamps. See, there I go again. I need. See what this looks like. I just grabbed it. Don't know that I've ever used this one. Well, that's kind of cute. It is stuck to my fingers and will not come off. I don't know where I'm going with this, guys, obviously. And I'm not going to worry about gluing it. I mean, this is my collage book, so, you know, if it comes up later, I'll just glue it back down. Is that the only, oh, there's one facing the other way. And that's a different one. Stick these back on here. To be used later. I don't really need that, I don't guess. Okay. I think I would like to, because I covered one of them up completely, almost two of them up, is take a piece of this and put it right there. Just because I think it would balance better. That may not make any sense to you guys. I need to glue his beak down anyway, obviously, because it went right under there. Alright, and I'm going to grab my little grubby stamps. Then I think we can call this one done. And if you notice, I did all the way over on this page, basically, and I have a gap over here. But that's okay. I can live with that, I think. And if I can't, I can always add a piece of paper over there, book page. And actually, I may go ahead and do that so it doesn't drive me crazy. I'm wondering if I should add my title. I think it's necessary. What does the prompt say? The prompt actually says inspired by a fairy tale. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I am, however, gonna straighten this up. It's very crooked. There we go. And trim it off. Okay. As Gail Augustinelli would say, talks to amongst yourself for just a second while I go grab my 2 stamps. And I'll be right back with you. Okie dokie. Both of these are Tim Holtz stamps, and they were in the line of stamps and stencil sets that were exclusively available through at Joann's. So, this is by far my favorite stamp. It just basically is crackly. Okay, and then this other one is just, it looks like splatters or paint blobs. Actually, I may do that one in black. I think I will. Let me stamp that off, what I just did. Let's put black on it. Grunge everything up a little bit. All right, there we go. Week 9 in the book. So let's go over the prompts one more time just to make sure, but I think we have everything covered. So we have inspired by a fairy tale, which is our ugly duckling. Something that represents an event. We have the Swan Lake, which is a ballet. An architectural element, we have our castle. Dictionary page, we have that in 2 locations, here and here. And a key, we have a stamp that's a key in several locations. And then our postal stamps. So there it is, we have everything covered. I'm going to ink around the outside edge of the page and call this one done. Get the end of her foot right here and this little piece of paper. I don't know why it's so difficult to do edges, to glue edges, but I never can get edges on the first try. Oh, you know what? I may want to do a little bit. I think I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing with my Stabilo all around her so that she stands out a little bit. I also got this at Jerry's Artarama. I would say most any art supply store probably has them. But it's basically just a wax-based pencil that is water soluble. So the idea is, and I'll have to be real careful when I'm doing the water since I used oxide there. The idea is to kind of outline the piece, and then you take a water pen, which I will show you in a minute, and kind of go around it, and it creates a nice shadow, and it makes your focal point stand out a little more. So I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to do it around our swan here. And I'm even going to do it down here where this water is, even though there's already water there. I kind of want that to be a little bit more, stand out a little bit more than it is. I'll do under his beak. Okay, so then you just take a water pen and kind of blend it out. And like I said, I have to be really careful going over that oxide that I stamped with my stamps. You would probably want to do this before you did any oxide stuff, just to be sure you're not smearing your stamps. I'm looking for my paper towel that I know I had before I started this video, and it is, there it is, it disappeared. I got that a little heavy there is why I took it off. It'll let you take it off if you do it really quickly. If you wait too long and it dries, you won't get it off. A little harder where I'm doing it because there's not a real lip there. You know, it's not really a fussy cut piece that's been cut out right there that I can run it along a seam or anything, because it's not a seam. Okay, now let's do over here. And when you do this, don't be alarmed when you do it and it appears to be really dark, because it will lighten up quite a bit when it dries and not be as dark. I'll just give her a little bit of something to stand on here so she's not floating up in the air. Just blend it out until you get the look you want. Oh, I need to glue her little fingers down. Oh, I need to do the back, his back too, don't I? And like I said, don't be alarmed by it when you first do it. It'll end up looking really good. And I'm wondering, I think what I'm gonna do is actually circle swan, circle duckling, just for no other reason than I want to. I can't think of another reason. Okay, So now we're done. And I'll post the picture at the end so you can see after it's totally dry. But like I said, that will dry quite a bit lighter. And I think we will have a pretty good looking collage. May not be my favorite, but it has some of my favorite things in it because of the trip to Germany and going to that castle and Swan Lake and several other things that bring back good memories for me. So in that aspect, I like it. So that's it for today, and we'll be back in extra. Actually, I'm going to try and do an extra video this week because I am working on the design team project for Lorna Taylor with Taylor Made Journals. I am going to try to do as much of that journal as I can in videos, and so I think I'm going to have an extra one this week so that we can get it started and get it going well. So it will probably be on Saturday if all goes as planned. So until then, everybody stay healthy, please stay safe, and I will see you next time.